Good morning, everybody. It's Dr. Polak from Progressive Pediatrics in Union City and Bayonne, New Jersey. Thank you for joining me this morning. This is the Insights with your MD, and it is our weekly update about what's happening in our community and in our office at Progressive Pediatrics. This week at Progressive Pediatrics, we've seen a lot of children who came in for well visits. Thank goodness you guys have listened and you're coming in with the children for well visits. So we're seeing a lot of nice, healthy kids this week. So what have I seen and spoken about a lot this week? Number one, a lot of parents have questions about school, whether they are safe, not safe. I am getting my thoughts together regarding the issue of attending schools, and I will give you my opinion hopefully in a week or two. I'd like to do it closer to September so that we know what the numbers really are, because that's a big part of the decisions that we all have to make about schooling for our children. And the biggest thing that we saw this week during our physical exams is weight changes in children. So as you know, when you come in with your child for a physical exam, we do the hearing and vision test, we do the weight, height, head circumference and under the age of 2. We do blood pressures. We do a lot of things, and then we plot everything on graphs and we talk about it. So a big part of the conversation this past week was, where is the BMI, which stands for body mass index. Body mass index is measured in children over the age of 2 or so, not under the age of 2. And also, it is basically a measure of someone's roundness. We don't want anyone to be very round. We want to be round enough to be healthy, but not too round. So BMI is a measure of someone's roundness. So I usually want to show the parents a graph of the weight progression, the height progression, as well as the body mass index, or BMI. And if the BMI is climbing fast above where the child used to be, or if it's above the 85th percentile, then that's not the healthiest way to live, and we have to make some adjustments. So how do we adjust that? I spoke about sugars and diet in the past video, so I'm not going to address that today. Today it's basically about how to encourage our children to be fit and how we are as parents can kind of role model that for them. So let's talk about it in the office. Come in, let's do your child's physical exam, please. We'll do all the measurements. I'll show you all these measurements on a chart so that you can know what's going on with your child's health. Sometimes it's really hard to eyeball it and see it. So I just want to stress the importance of routine physical exams in children. Over the age of 2, we really should see them once per year. We follow their development, both physical, emotional, and mental development closely, and we follow their growth patterns very closely. So first of all, come in, let's talk about it. Secondly, so how do you get your child to actually want to do some physical activity? Please find something fun, okay? It shouldn't be a chore, they shouldn't hate it. And it's really hard to get your child to participate in some sort of a fun activity if their face is always in some sort of a screen. So don't say, okay, turn off the computer right now, we're gonna go out. Turn off the computer first, interact with your child for a few minutes, and then say, okay, let's go out for a walk or a run or whatever you find to be fun with your child. So what's fun is developmentally different for different ages. So let's talk about infants. If you have an infant right under the age of 1, you want to do a lot of tummy time, you want to do a lot of floor time. So I don't encourage anyone to do tummy time on a bed, always on the thick pad on the floor, minimum of a half hour a day, ideally an hour a day of tummy time if your child is not rolling over yet. But if the child has started to roll over, give them some safe space where they can move around, crawl, stand, practice their balance and walk. After the age of 1, they should be on the go all the time in your house or outdoors with a lot of care. They should be moving and walking all of their waking hours. Usually kids don't want to sit still, and we don't want them to sit still. So we want them to keep moving. So what about preschoolers? Preschoolers are supposed to play at least 3 hours a day, be on the move, checking things out, running, walking, doing whatever it takes. So if your kid is sitting down all day and not running around for at least 3 hours a day, that should be a red flag to you that you should come talk to us Let's figure out what's happening, if it's something that we can help him overcome or not. So if your child is constantly moving, as a preschooler, you do not have a hyperactive or abnormal child. You have a child who's supposed to be moving a minimum of 3 hours per day. What about school-age kids? School-age kids are encouraged to get a minimum of 1 hour per day, every day, of active physical activity. So now, how do you make it fun? So for infants, you get the right toys, right? You want them to have something colorful that they can reach for and grab, like little plastic blocks or plastic balls, things that they can bang together, throw, try to reach for. For preschoolers, you also want them to have balls and blocks. You want them to be able to build, you want them to throw, you want them to kick, you want them to jump, run, and hop. For school-age kids, what can you have around the house? So I find that the biggest issue is on rainy days, we don't want to go out, and then we say, oh, it's raining, I'm not going to get my exercise. But that can't be the case, because we've been having a lot of rainy days lately. And when the winter comes, that's going to be an excuse to become overweight. So have things around the house, such as a jump rope, a hula hoop, some soft balls that you guys can toss back and forth inside safely. So plan for rainy days. Hula hooping is a great activity. So is jump ropes. Now, if you live on the top floor and the people underneath you don't want you to jump rope, I don't advise you to jump rope unless they're not home. However, hula hoops are nice and quiet. Dancing is a great activity for preschoolers and school-age kids to get in their 1 hour a day at least of physical activity. So having a dance party every rainy day is a great idea. Try it. What else can you do? You can buy some bubbles, blow the bubbles, and have the kids chase around the bubbles. You can have a balloon if your child's over the age of 3, because that's when balloons are safe. You can blow up a balloon and toss the balloon back and forth and chase it. Make sure your child is running, moving, active. A little sweaty would be great also. So physical activity is super important, and these are some good ideas that you can use with the kids. So you as a parent are a role model. If you're sitting all day and not moving, that's what your child will do. So for your child's sake, I recommend that you please be a good role model. And if you don't enjoy activity, that's okay. Find something fun that you do. Like I said, it could be as simple as blowing bubbles or running after them. It could be as simple as tossing a soft ball back and forth with your child. Those are all good things to do to stay nice and healthy and active. So you, as a parent, should really get involved. So again, screen time is really hard to control during the pandemic. I understand that. However, now that it's summer, there's no excuse for the children to be on a screen for more than 2 hours a day. I understand when school starts again, they're going to have to do that again, but try your best to limit it to 2 hours a day during the summer so that there's time to do other things, such as play either indoors or outdoors if it's safe near you. Also, let's talk a little bit about diet. You cannot exercise away a bad diet. So if you and the kids are eating fast food or junk food regularly and exercising, you're not going to lose weight, okay? We want you to exercise, and at the same time, we want you to please watch your diet. So healthy fruits and vegetables instead of the processed snacks would be a great idea. All right, so that's the end of the Facebook Live today. I strongly recommend that you please share this video with either your children if they're old enough to be on social media, and if they're not, with your friends and family, so that everyone can start to think healthy and movement. And movement doesn't have to be, oh, I hate exercising. It doesn't have to be something that you dislike. Please find a fun activity, something as simple as throwing a balloon or a ball back and forth is better than nothing. Recommendations. So infants, at least 30 to 60 minutes a day of tummy time. Preschoolers, at least 3 hours a day of running around having fun. And everyone over the age of preschoolers, so 5, 6 and up, you should really get at least an hour a day of really good physical activity to stay healthy. So please share my video with as many people as you can. Come visit us at Progressive Pediatrics, where we're going to do all of these measurements and talk about how to keep your child healthy. Also, Next week on our Insights with Your MD, we will have another discussion. I'm hoping to talk a little bit more about the school openings. We shall see. Have a great week, and thank you so much for joining me.